Hi everybody, thank you for being here and your support. My private circumstances at the moment are beyond stressful, but I'm still trying to bring you my best. Okay, I happened to accidentally find the information I'm going to share with you today. And once I told you and showed you, then you will also understand why it is important to know who is currently Archewell Philanthropy's sponsor and administrator, because whoever it is possibly in the process of covering up financial crimes committed by Harry or Meghan, or Harry and Meghan. Yes, Archewell Foundation or Archewell Philanthropies are in trouble, likely deep, deep trouble, if the sponsor or administrator does not succeed in sorting it all out. Once I've finished reading you the report, you may understand why it is my opinion that there was some money washing going on, if you know what I mean. So here is the report from Charity Watch United States, dated January 22nd, 2026. It is titled Archewell Philanthropies, New Name, Same Old Transparency Problems. Archewell Philanthropies, new name, same old transparency problems. Archewell Philanthropies rebranded from its previous name, the Archewell Foundation, in late 2025. Unfortunately, the name change has not been accompanied by any apparent improvement in financial transparency or public accountability. Despite reporting in its federal tax filings that its financial statements are independently audited, the organization has repeatedly failed to provide those audits to Charity Watch when we have requested them. Charity Watch contacted the organization by U.S. mail on January 6, 2026, requesting the audits, but received no response as of January 21st, 2026. This follows earlier written requests on January 22nd, 2024 and December 6, 2024, which were likewise ignored. An organization that claims to undergo independent audits but consistently declines to share them raises legitimate questions about its commitment to transparency. In addition, the charity's registration with the Office of the California Attorney General reflects that it expired on May the 15th, 2025. The most current filing reflected in the California Attorney General's online database for the charity is for its fiscal year ended December 31st, 2023. This lack of transparency and outdated information leaves donors and taxpayers without a clear, verifiable picture of how millions of dollars in charitable funds are being managed. Charity tax filings not audited. Archewell Philanthropies does post its fiscal year 2024 IRS tax form 990 on its website. However, this document is inadequate for purposes of judging a charity's financial operations and governance. IRS tax forms 990 are not audited by an independent certified public accountant, a CPA, according to generally accepted auditing standards, and are not presented according to generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP, in the United States. Charity Watch has found countless examples of charity tax filings containing information that is inaccurate, inconsistent, incomplete, and incomparable. We have also found many examples of charities with very serious financial efficiency and governance concerns receiving high scores and transparency seals from automated charity raters that rely primarily on tax form reporting. By contrast, an independent audit evaluates a charity's internal controls, samples, and reviews financial transactions and provides donors with more assurance that reported financial information is materially accurate. A marketing document does not replace an audit. Archewell Philanthropies also posts a document on its website labeled as a 2024 impact report. An impact report is similarly no substitute for an independent audit, as its purpose is to shape perceptions, not provide accountability. Such self-produced marketing documents highlight a charity's selected programs and other activities. The contents are chosen by the charity to paint itself in a flattering light for board members, donors, and other stakeholders. Because no standard comparable benchmarks exist for measuring impact among different charities with widely varying legal structures, causes, and programs, a charity is free to create its own goalposts and move them at will to draw the foregone conclusion that it is meeting or exceeding its impact goals. Charity Watch issues Archewell Philanthropies a questionable rating for non-disclosure. Charity Watch is unable to provide a rating for Archewell Philanthropies based on its fiscal year ended December 31st, 2024, due to the organization not responding to requests for a copy of its independent audited financial statements or making them available on its website. As a result, Charity Watch has issued the charity a questionable rating, which reflects non-disclosure of critical financial information that prevents a meaningful evaluation of accountability and transparency. Vague expense reporting. Now this is indeed very interesting. According to Archewell Philanthropies, fiscal 2024 IRS Form 990, the organization reported raising $2,142,653 in cash contributions while spending $5,105,228 in total cash expenses during the year. The charity reports that $2 million of its 2024 contributions were received from a single donor. Though the charity spent more than twice the amount it raised in 2024, it ended the year with net assets of nearly $8.3 million due to reserves it had accumulated in previous years. The majority of the charity's assets consist of cash, according to its tax filing. The charity's reporting of how it spent its cash in 2024 leaves a lot to be desired. Over 47% of its program spending is reported on one vague line called Other Fees for Services according to its tax filing of the same year. A schedule attached to the filing provides little more detail, describing the expense only as outside program consultants. Now, some of these include M&C Saatchi World Services, $348,000, Invisible Hands, which is Doria's organization, $238,228. Jory Craig Major Strategy, $155,850. Dinner Party Labs, $155,850. Herily Loughran, $139,753. Note, Archewell's 2024 Form 990 reports that a total of 6 independent contractors received more than $100,000 in compensation during the year, though only the top 5 are itemized in its tax filing as required by IRS rules. So who are the others? Megan, and Megan. Anyway, moving on. Large early contributions skew long-term average. Archewell Philanthropies reports that it was formed in 2020. Based on IRS Form 990 reporting, the organization raised approximately $22.5 million in total contributions during the 4-year period from 2021 through to 2024, averaging about $5.6 million per year. However, this average is misleading. In fiscal year 2021 alone, the organization reported receiving $13,004,470 in contributions, amounting to well over of its 4-year total. By contrast, it raised a combined $9,480,344 during the 3-year period from 2022 through to 2024. Two-person board raises governance and independence concerns. Archewell Philanthropies continues to report having only 2 board members, a structure that falls well short of widely accepted non-profit governance best practices and raises legitimate concerns about independence and oversight. The board members listed include only Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. A 2-person board lacks the ability to provide meaningful checks and balances, increases the risk of deadlock or unilateral control, and makes it difficult to ensure that key decisions are reviewed from multiple independent perspectives. Effective non-profit governance relies on a sufficiently sized board to oversee management, safeguard charitable assets, manage conflicts of interest, and act in the best interest of the organization rather than any individual. With so few directors, it is inherently more challenging to demonstrate independent decision-making, robust accountability, and adherence to fiduciary duties that donors and the public reasonably expect of a charity entrusted with millions of dollars in public funds. Transparency is not optional. Independent audited financial statements are a basic expectation for charities that raise and spend millions of public dollars annually. Archewell Philanthropies' continued failure to provide these documents, despite claiming that they do exist, prevents Charity Watch and other interested members of the public from assessing how funds are managed and whether spending aligns with the charity's stated mission. If Archewell Philanthropies chooses to provide its audited financial statements to Charity Watch in the future, we may update the organization's rating at that time.